In this video, I'm going to talk to you about how to actually find PhD advisors. I think this is really important, and a lot of people don't talk about how to actually find people that are good, that you can work with, and that you're going to have a productive academic career where you're going to excel and do really, really amazing things in your career. So if you don't know me, I am Professor Dave Massack. I'm Associate Professor of Innovation Strategy and Entrepreneurship, and I create this whole reciprocity project to give back as much as I possibly can. There's so many people that help me out that I want to pay the favor for to help you out. Hey, if you can, go on to the reciprocity website. So it's the E is written with a 3, and it's reciprocity.com. It's a sharing economy editing platform that I'm trying to build out where you can get feedback on your writing. The credits are incredibly cheap. We've built in, plagiarism checkers. We built in sort of security checks and all sorts of different things. Tone checkers, really, and based on like machine learning and crazy fun things like that. So go check that out. We're trying to help you out and making it as inexpensive as we can, so that a lot of people can find it useful. I think it's the least expensive option out there. I've explored and tried to find different things, so I think it actually is going to be very, very helpful for you, and it's super easy to use. So, what are these characteristics that you actually want to look for? So these are a couple of questions, I guess, that you want to think about, and then I want to get into what is what is wrong with PhD advisors? What are the troubles that you can actually experience with this? So, what are the characteristics that you actually want to look for with PhD advisors? What you want is somebody that actually cares for your success. And you have to look for those signals of somebody that's actually caring for who you are as an individual, as a person, to do really well. And this is the second thing I wanted to point out is, a lot of people in academia are self-centered. And the problem is that the career makes you self-centered. So even if you go into it and you're well-intentioned and, you are really, really doing the right things, the uncertainty that you deal with, the sort of low moments that you have, really forces you to be very self-centered and forces you to only focus on yourself. So you really need somebody that is going to be there, that is not going to be as self-centered, but they're going to help you get through the tough moments. So they're going to help you, have a conversation every once in a while, or grab a coffee every once in a while. That's very important for us to get through those moments that you experience. Now, the third thing and it's related to this, is that you need a PhD advisor that is going to bop you on your head and let you stand on your own 2 feet. So you need somebody that's going to give you difficult advice. So there's that combination there, right? Like there is that somebody is going to help you through tough moments, but at the same time, you also need somebody to be like, like this is your career. This is the thing that you need to do, and you need to figure this out yourself. So that combination and finding that right combination that's for you, and everybody is different. So everybody needs somebody that's different, right? So some people are going to be a lot more hard stop and saying, no, this is your thing, you deal with it. Other people are going to be more like, okay, let's help you out and walk you through this. And you need to find the right combination that's going to work for you in terms of getting your career going. And you might need that at different stages. So people need to sort of realize that, early on, you probably are going to, so within the first year, you probably are going to need somebody that's going to be like hard stop. This is your thing, and run away and go do those things. But probably about the third year, you're going to sort of change who you are, and you're going to be like, I don't know what I'm doing. And then that's where you need somebody to walk you through, kind of be a little bit more helping, a little bit more, compassionate with you. And that's where you're going to get through those tough moments, right? So you need to find that right combination. I also want to point out, you might be thinking like, oh yeah, I'm just going to look for somebody that's doing really cool and amazing things, and that, I can do those kind of things. But the problem is with that, you have no idea. what they're actually doing. You are likely, if they're doing something that's sufficiently interesting, it's likely you're not going to understand what they're doing. And so just spend time talking and learning their research, learning about what they're doing before you kind of commit to anything. Now, how long, a significant time, like, a couple weeks to a month or whatever, to figure out what they're about before you commit to anything, to figure out what they're interested in and whether it actually resonates with what you're doing. That's an important sort of inside tip, I guess, because you're not going to understand what they're doing until, probably actually until you're done. And then you're going to look back and say, oh, I get this, right? I'm still learning, and I've been doing this since 2005. So 16 years later, I think I'm starting to get like a feel of the field, and I'm still like getting there, right? So that's kind of what's going on. Maybe once I'm like 75 years old, I'm probably going to have a good sense of what's going on. What is wrong with PhD advisors? What is going to happen is that you are going to not know as much as they do, and the trouble is that you have to give them time to understand what they're working on, right? So that is a tricky thing that's going on, is that you as a PhD student or potential PhD student, you're not going to really understand what's going on. And so you have to give them time. It's like a dating process. I think that's the best way to think about it. It's like you are ready to have a marriage, and you have to date somebody for a while. So don't jump into it quickly, but at the same time sort of have a process that you can actually get to the thing that you would love to do and work with them, right? So, get married, whatever, right? So it's a dating process, but take your time, but at the same time be committed to the process and get that done. Another thing that you're going to realize is that why is it that PhD advisors kind of put up a wall or a barrier? It's because that you get burnt a lot in the career. Lots and lots of people will not deliver, or they'll kind of flake out or whatever, all sorts of different things like that. So you have to put up barriers in terms of, I'm not going to do this. And so what they are expecting you to do is actually pick it up and do the work rather than them. They could do the work and probably accelerate the career a lot more. But, there's very much this, you're skeptical in terms of whether you're going to commit. And then there's also this sort of boundary that you don't want to cross as an advisor, because you want it to be a learning experience. One of the problems that you can go through is doing too much. And then if you do too much, then the PhD student doesn't learn as much. And then they don't know how to do it themselves later on. And so there's this it's a process, right? Like, you don't want to commit too much because they're still very skeptical in terms of who you are as a person, because so many people can flake out and leave. And so you invest slowly, and you develop this relationship over time until it becomes something that's that is there and doing those kind of things, that are doing the right things. Now, the last thing is that you have to realize is, as much as they are helping you out, you're also helping them out in terms of doing this. And so you have a little bit of power there. And don't forget that, in terms of you are helping out their career, but at the same time, you can also hurt their career if they're sort of selecting wrong on the wrong person. And then, they dedicate a tremendous amount of time to this process, and you end up not completing the academic degree or whatever. So just be very well aware of that, what's going on in terms of why there's that sort of slow investment, or why there might be barriers that you're having to overcome. It's really because of there's two uncertain assets, right? So there's a matching theory. You have two uncertain assets, and they have to figure out a way to match together. And then nobody really understands how they match together. And so you're trying to figure out how they match together and find out what are the criteria that you match and work together. to accomplish something. So that's really what's going on with the process. And so at both sides, you might be like, oh, I'm really gung-ho. And but a lot of people are going to say that, right? So if you ask 10 people, oh, I'm going to complete this thing, I'm going to be the best, all 10 people are going to say that. And so there's only one person that's actually going to complete that and do a really good job and do amazing things. And so that's where you have to be like skeptical with this, right? So there's that matching process to find the right combination where people are working together and doing good things from that. So with that, hopefully you like this video. Again, take your time, look for somebody that is going to care about you, but at the same time have that, it's almost parenting. And I don't like to use that, but it almost is, because you need somebody to get you through the rough times, but at the same time, you need somebody that's going to help you learn and develop and grow as a person and be a little hard-nosed when you're not doing the right thing, and you'll see them pull back in terms of what they're doing. So with that, give me a thumbs up, do subscribe to the YouTube channel, take care, and have a wonderful day.